Hi everyone, I'm Reading with Jack and today I'm here to discuss Overanalysing books. This is a brand new discussion started by Eyre and I really enjoyed watching her video. It was so interesting, eloquent, intelligent and just great to watch really. So I will link it down below in the description as well as the link to her channel. I've actually been thinking about this for quite a while, so I'm quite glad she brought it up. It's always a topic I think about. In Eyre's video she was talking about how one of her English lecturers was saying that blue curtains in one particular book represented oppression, and she was kind of discussing, is this true and do we necessarily need to analyse books to this extent? Is it kind of over the top in a way? And it's just a really interesting thing to discuss, so now I'm going to share my opinions. I'd like to start by saying that overanalysis definitely can exist. It is a thing for some readers and I don't think we can kind of pretend that it doesn't exist. I think sometimes when people are forced to analyse books they find it quite tedious and almost find that the links between the quotation and the analysis are almost quite tenuous and kind of over the top. For example, if someone reads a book and they really enjoy it and they enjoy the characters and the plot, they might be questioning, why is it necessary to analyse every single thing? Why is it necessary to analyse every single colour in the book? I do feel like if you don't like a book and you find it annoying after analysing, that's not a good thing, and in that respect it is definitely over-analysis, because analysis is not a negative thing, it's not a bad thing, it's not something we do to find books annoying. So if it does get annoying, that is over-analysis. However, my personal experiences with analysing books in English literature is that it's actually been quite a positive thing. I have really enjoyed analysing books. I really find it quite fascinating sometimes to look at books in so much depth. I feel like it can almost open a new side to the book that you never thought about before. It can open different interpretations. There's a lot of meaning you can get out of analysis, and sometimes you can understand the messages more, and that is something which I really like and really appreciate out of analysing books. Sometimes I even enjoy books more from analysing them. For example, when I read The Great Gatsby for the first time, I enjoyed it, but I didn't find anything wow about it. I almost found there was something missing. And then when I studied it and I analysed the colours and the different places and what they were symbolic of, I just fell in love with this book. I really understood the messages and the meanings and what everything meant. I really just loved the book, and I feel like I connected with the characters more and almost understood their intentions because of analysing it in so much depth. So in this sense, analysis is a good thing, and I really like it when analysis can make you enjoy a book more, because that's just a great example of how analysis is positive. Another book which I studied last year is one that I actually loved the first time I read it. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and I love Khaled Hosseini's books, so naturally it was just a great read. I really loved analysing this one because it was just so interesting. You know, analysing books that you feel passionate about, I think is just really fun because you can open so many different ways of looking at that book, and I just really enjoyed this book. There is a lot of symbolism in this book. I don't know if it's necessarily as overt as the symbolism in The Great Gatsby, but it's just fantastic to analyse. I really love the messages, and just the emotion in this book really came clear when I was analysing it. The next thing I was thinking about is actually a question. Do certain books require more analysis than others? And do we need to analyse certain books in more depth than other books? And I definitely think this could be true. For example, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I am currently analysing this for my English coursework, and I absolutely find it fascinating. It's a great book and I really love it. I loved reading it the first time and I love analysing it. And I was thinking, perhaps these kind of books are the ones that you need to analyse most and you kind of get most out of. The reason is that because this was written in the Victorian era, you can analyse things from a Victorian's perspective, and how do Victorians view a particular symbolic word or something, and then you might analyse it from a modern day perspective and kind of discover, is there any differences? And I feel like that kind of analysis is definitely the most in-depth analysis, but the most justified analysis in a way. You can really look at it in so many different ways, and I feel like books like this just work so well with analysis. So perhaps certain books need more analysis than others. The final point I have to make is one that Ariel also made, is that we never know the author's intentions. We never know if they spent hours working on a scene, crafting it to have a particular symbolic meaning, or whether they just added a colour because they felt like it. We never know that. Ultimately, if someone wants to say a blue curtain represents oppression, that's fine. If that's their interpretation, their opinion, and they can justify it, that's absolutely true. For other people, it might mean a completely different thing, and that's also very exciting. So I'm going to conclude by saying that I think over-analysis can exist. If a book gets annoying or you find the analysis tedious, that is definitely over-analysis. However, in my personal experiences, I've never really felt like I have overanalyzed books. I've always really enjoyed doing that, and I've never found it annoying. So that's my personal experience, but I know everyone will have a different experience because different people like to analyse things differently. So please let me know what you think about this topic down below in the comments, or you could make a video response if you wish. That is it for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the discussion wasn't too bad. I mean, it's probably a bit all over the place. I haven't planned it. I don't know how the structure of this video really will be, but hopefully it's not terrible. I will see you all again in my next video.